What is up, guys? It is the Sports Sir Brad Walker, and welcome to a special Friday night version of the Sunshine State Sports Paper. Guys, I had a personal event happen on Monday night, so I am doing my show because there are a lot of people out there that like the show. So I'm doing it on Friday night this week. This will be one and only. I won't say the one and only time, but anytime I need to make it up, it will be on a Friday night. But I will be back on Monday night next week at 8:30. For this show to be on back on Monday night. But it's a special Friday edition. Hopefully everyone is having a good end to their week. Hopefully everyone has a fun or an exciting or just a laid-back, relaxing weekend ahead of them. Guys, the Sunshine State Sports Paper is sponsored by Arena Eats. Remember the website, guys. It's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venues. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? All right, guys, so let me go ahead and dive right into this. I'm going to start as we get closer and closer, guys, to the NFL draft. I'm going to start with the National Football League, and I'm going to start with the Cats in Jacksonville. We all know, guys, most likely the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have the #1 overall pick and the most cap space available, probably are going, most likely, I would say 10 times out of 10, are going to take Trevor Lawrence at #1 overall. They have the first overall pick. They won one game last year. That was the first game of the season, then went on a 15-game losing streak. But they are here. What they needed to do is they've got to go ahead and get some of their guys down. Even with having a lot of cap space, they have to. Every team is willing to open up cap space due to the coronavirus cutting the cap down from last year. We all know the cap will go back up in the 2022 calendar season, but as of right now in the 2021 season, it is going to be hurt by, of course, the coronavirus and stuff like that. So right now, guys, again, some of this stuff that I have up on my notes could be a little old, so I do apologize if some event has already happened and I did not know about it. But they are, again, what do you guys need when you draft a rookie quarterback? An offensive line. Ask Joe Burrow in Cincinnati last year what happens when you do not have an offensive line. He got hurt and may not be available this year for the season. I don't think that drafting Trevor Lawrence and then having him get hurt is what they want to do. So Andrew Norwell is one of their offensive linemen. They may ask for him to take a pay cut, or they'll trade him to get it down. The Jaguars are owners of $81.71 million in cap space. Again, the new NFL season will begin, I think, next week. As far as the franchise tags and everything like that, that deadline has already passed. So they cannot, I don't know if they may have tagged him. I'm not 100% sure on that. Norvell is set to own approximately 7.09% of the team's cap this year for a fine tune of a robust $15 million that includes $12 million salary and prorated $3 million signing bonus. So again, they may have to ask him to take a pay cut, even though they have $81 million available with that. With it. Now, guys, just because I mentioned Trevor Lawrence does not mean that the Jaguars are not going to shop around and talk to other quarterbacks. One is quarterback Zach Wilson out of BYU, who a lot of people see going #2 to the Jets, or if the Jets, I've seen mock drafts where the Carolina Panthers trade up and draft Zach Wilson #2 overall. The Jaguars have had multiple Zoom calls with Mr. Wilson, according to Peter King. So, again, the conversations are as follows. I'll tell you two things. Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator for the Jaguars, called John Beck, former BYU quarterback and trainer of Wilson, recently, and had an extended conversation with Beck about Zach Wilson. King told Florio. Beck was very bullish on the fact the Coastal Carolina tape that I talked about a minute ago. Here's the one interesting thing. Teams get to spend no more than 5 Zoom sessions on any prospect. The Jaguars have already had 2 with Zach Wilson. Now, I don't want to be, I don't want to say who are them, because there's also had 2 with Justin Fields as well. and they have sure had at least as many with Trevor Lawrence. I still think Mike and highly doubtful that they won't pick Trevor Lawrence. So again, guys, they've had Zoom conversations, of course, with Zach Wilson, and of course, they've had it with Justin Fields out of Ohio State as well. They're trying to find the who they're going to draft overall #1. But we all know right now that, like I said, they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence. Urban Meyer, their head coach, really likes Trevor Lawrence. I would not be surprised if that comes down that way, that it ends up being that way. No doubt about that at all. Would not be surprised unless there is somebody in the draft down there that can take and trade up to get Jacksonville's first-round pick. They would have to woo them to get rid of the first-round pick. You're talking, first-round picks next year and probably the next 3 drafts and a quarterback. I don't know if there's anyone out there that can do that kind of stuff. Maybe the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson. I don't even know if the Seahawks will even have a first-round pick this year. They'll be picking in round 2. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. The Houston Texans, I don't think would be that crazy to trade up, and now they don't have a quarterback. Maybe Desean Watson go to Jacksonville, and then they pick a quarterback at 1. They go ahead and get Trevor Lawrence, or they draft Justin Fields or Zach Wilson at 1, whatever quarterback best fits their system. I just don't see that happening. The Jaguars are going to stay at 1, and they're going to take Trevor Lawrence at that thing. But Zach Wilson does. He is showing interest from a lot of teams, guys. The Jaguars are not the only team that has looked at him. They need a quarterback. Obviously, the Jets may move on from Sam Darnold. They may not move on from Sam Darnold. So we'll have to wait and see. But again, they have been talking to Zach Wilson. So again, guys, the 2021 NFL Draft will take place in Cleveland, Ohio, from April 29th to May 1st. Why the Jaguars are conducting due diligence at quarterback means nothing more. And like I said, guys, I'm not trying to sit here and say that they're not going to take Trevor Lawrence, they're going to take Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. I'm not saying that by any means. Every, team like them that's in that #1 spot, they're going to do their due diligence. They're going to check out every quarterback and see what happens. All these guys have pro days. There's no NFL Combine this year, guys, due to COVID, so there's no Combine. So all these guys got pro days ahead, and you know that all the eyes, not only the Jacksonville Jaguars, will be on Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Zach Wilson. So again, let's see what happens. You have an idea. We'll have to wait and see how Jacksonville does with that first pick. I don't see them taking anybody but Trevor Lawrence. They're gonna, they're still trying to figure out who they're gonna cut, keep, to open up more cap space, and they can go out and make a splash in the free agency market too, and get some guys to help Trevor Lawrence and help the defense out in Jacksonville that's very, very young. So again, it would have to come down to that to see what they do, but we'll have to wait and see as the draft gets closer. We have another month yet. Let's see, today is the 12th. About a month and 17 days from now is when the draft starts. So there's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of things that happen in between, obviously, now and then, to see what happens with the Jaguars and company. But we'll have to wait and see what Urban Meyer and company do in that form. I will now go ahead and move down south to the Fish in Miami, the Miami Dolphins. And again, here's something that always seems to pop up at the end of every season. Ryan Fitzpatrick does not want to hang it up quite yet. He would like to come back in 2021, and he played last year and with a starter and a backup to Tua Tagovailoa. Why not bring him back one more time? He's become the unrestricted free agent, guys, on St. Patrick's Day. That's this Wednesday coming up. So we'll have to wait and see if he comes back. I would not be shocked if he doesn't sign with the Dolphins, if he does sign with somebody else as a backup quarterback somewhere. But I think it would be great for Brian Flores and company to bring him back with the Dolphins, because he already knows the system and he can help Tua, again, continue to groom him a little bit moving forward. I can't see why that would be a bad thing for Fitzpatrick to come back. But that, again, will be a situation that we'll have to to say that. Is he in line to retire? Absolutely. He could definitely retire and walk away, but he still would like to play. So we're going to have to wait and see. Again, in 2019, guys, he passed for 3,529 yards and led the Dolphins in rushing, and then followed that in 2020 by setting a career high in completion percentage at 68.5. His pass rating was 95.6. In 2020 was the second best of his career, behind only the 100.4 he posted in 2018 in his 2 seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So again, guys, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that if he stays. Now, this next topic about the Dolphins that I'm bringing up is about Desean Watson. Guys, if the Dolphins are going to make this move, they got to do it now and not wait around for it. There are a lot of people that want the deal to be done. There are some people that do not want the deal to be done. If Desean Watson does come, that definitely will strengthen the Dolphins' chances to win the AFC East next year or this year coming up. The Buffalo Bills are a good football team. Hands down, they're a good football team. They will be really, really tough to dethrone. And the Patriots, if you guys are not here earlier today, they re-signed Cam Newton. So they're trying to bring back their thing. And the Jets obviously have the second overall pick. They also have the second highest cap money available behind the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I just spoke about. So they can have an opportunity to get better too. The AFC East could be a really kind of up in the air next year if the Dolphins do make a move. If they don't, I still think that Brian Flores and company still can make a threat, as this team, guys, was 10-5, 10-6 last year and missed the playoffs in Week 17, losing to the Buffalo Bills. Had they not done that, this team would have made the postseason. So again, they were right there, and they can do that again next season. They did release Kyle Van Noy. They have made some changes. Obviously, teams have to make changes. That's just the way it goes, guys. That's the way that it all boils down. So again, we'll have to wait and see if that trade goes down. Again, most likely, if that trade does go down, you're going to see Tua end up in Houston, because it'll be Tua and a bunch of picks to Houston for Desean Watson. So I think the Texans were asking for 2 firsts and 2 defensive players and a replacement quarterback. So that's what they want in return. Will the Dolphins or any other team take that? We'll have to wait and see, because obviously Houston is in a lot of trouble. A lot of players went out of Houston, so obviously the franchise has hit a downward spiral, and they've not hit bottom yet, but they're damn near close to hitting the bottom there. So we'll have to wait and see. I know I said a couple weeks ago that they had been talked that there was no way that the Deshaun Watson trade was going to happen in Miami. But yet, as I was doing my research earlier this week, guys, it's still in the headlines down in Miami. They're still talking about it. So until the headlines are put to bed, it's going to be one of those situations where it's still going to get talked about. And, we'll have to wait and see if they pull that deal. If they don't pull, we'll have to, definitely do that. Now, how can the Miami Dolphins begin to booster their roster? Obviously, they can get a running back. That's something that they need to improve on. I wrote an article today, guys, about free agent Aaron Jones and how the Dolphins would be one of the teams that he should think about signing with to help the backfield. They're going to lose Kenyon Drake. So it's time for the Dolphins to definitely do that. They could go get Najee Harris out of Alabama. And that's somebody that Tua loves to have, being that he's a Crimson Tide player himself. So that would be cool. James White is a free agent out of New England. He could fit well in Miami. As a pass protector, he can get out of the backfield. Don't be surprised if they go that way. But again, they'll have to help. Obviously, you want to make sure you help your rookie quarterback, who now comes into the foray of getting helping a quarterback in his sophomore season. This will be Tua's second year. He had some struggles last year as he was in the game and then he was out of it. So again, we'll have to wait and see what exactly happens with Tua, with the whole trade with Desean Watson, how the Miami Dolphins handle their draft and everything else. Again, as we get closer, guys, the Dolphins they draft fifth. They get the fifth pick this year. I'm sorry, the third pick this year because of the Houston Texans trade. So they get the third pick this year. They drafted fifth last year. They get the third overall pick this year in a trade for Laramie Tunsil. So again, that is something too that they could boast. They could get a running back, and stuff like that. So don't be surprised if the Dolphins making another splash like they did a year ago when they had all their picks and their cap space as well. So again, as we get closer to the draft, guys, I definitely will let you guys know about any news, anything like that. If the Desean Watson thing breaks, then we'll be talking about Desean Watson and company, or Desean coming here. Next guys up on the list is the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm going to just start off with this right here, right now. Tom Brady earlier today agreed to a 4-year extension. Definitely going to be a future Hall of Famer, as we all know that. He signed a 4-year extension that avoided out last year. The move lessens Brady's cap hit in 2021 from the heft of $28.38 million. He was set to land and will allow more movement to attempt to re-sign players. The biggest free agent guys left for the Buccaneers, obviously, is Shaquille Barrett. He has not been signed. They did sign Levante David to a 2-year deal, and they tagged wide receiver Chris Godwin. So the biggest free agent that they have left is Shaquille Barrett. They also need to bring back, of course, Rob Gronkowski and, of course, Antonio Brown. So with this, it helps lessen the cap hit and continues to let these guys come back. I've heard recently, guys, with the Buccaneers that Shaquille Barrett is looking for $20 million. He wants to break the bank. And you know what? There's no reason why that can't happen. He has waited long enough. He has played many seasons. In Denver, he played his ass off 2 years in a row here. And then now it's time for him to get paid. No doubt about that, guys. There's no doubt about it's time for Shaq Barrett to get paid and break the bank, as he says. As I heard on 620 WDAE, the Ronnie and T Crash show, early in the morning from 6 to 9 a.m., they were talking about this on Thursday, that he should not sign anything until next week when the new season starts, to see who out there would like to sign him to a larger deal. And the funny thing is, we'll have to wait and see how that all goes down, because again, if you think about it, he could test the market and go out there. Can the Buccaneers bring someone else in? Absolutely, they could. There are other edge rushers. You can draft an edge rusher. I mean, look, guys, a few years ago they drafted Devin White. Look how well he's worked out. Jason Light and company are working with their cap guys there that are on the franchise to get enough money to bring Shaq Barrett back. We'll just have to wait and see, guys, how that all goes down, because the team is back. They brought back Tom Brady. They extended his contract, so obviously he's going to be here for a while. You probably will not see Leonard Fournette next year. I don't think that's going to be. He's a one and done here, but he was a big help, especially down the playoffs. But again, guys, you got some guys on the wrong side. JPP is not getting any younger. They're going to have to get a young edge rusher. They signed Levante David. I could finally basically say, guys, seeing him retire in a Buccaneer uniform. He was drafted by them originally. I could see him retiring as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. That there's no doubt about that. I think that he really could be that type of guy that could have played his whole career as a Buccaneer before he retires. Like some of the legends, Rondé Barber played his whole career as a Buck. There are some out there that have played their whole careers as Buccaneers and ended up very, very well for themselves. So again, I'll keep you informed, guys, on the Shaq Barrett thing going down and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, We're going to have to wait and see if they can bring this team back together, barring any injury. As I mentioned on my co-host on my Thursday show, Adam Mangold, on the Unscripted podcast that was early this morning, that actually will be Saturdays from 10 a.m. till noon, Eastern Standard Time, guys, in case you're wondering what time zone we are on. And I mentioned to him that if the Bucs do not have any major injuries to any of their superstars, I cannot see why this team cannot be back to where they were last year and back in the Super Bowl again, vying for another title. Obviously, next year, the Super Bowl will not be in their home field at Raymond James Stadium, but still, it would be interesting to see on how they can get back and keep the core guys here. That would be interesting. That's going to be interesting. So they got to do some work to get Shaquille Barrett back. I'm kind of, still on the fence, the 50-50 shot that they're going to bring him back. But there are guys out there they could bring in if he does not come back. We'll have to, again, wait and see. And, again, the defense, I think if you saw, last year, the last couple games of the season, I think it all comes back to Vita Vea. I think he's the main key in that defense in the middle. I think Vita Vea is big. He's a big guy in the middle there, and I think he's big to that defense. So we'll have to wait and see on how that's going to go moving forward and stuff like that. So hold your breath if you're a Bucs fan. We'll see how everything works out for them. But Brady did sign an extension earlier today to get hit to be back as a Buccaneer, which voided out the 1-year deal. I think his contract now is good till 2024. If I'm wrong, guys, I do apologize. It might be 2025. I don't really know what the extension of the contract was, so that would be interesting to see how long he could be here. Other than that, we'll have to wait and see. Just like the Bucs, of course, have the 32nd pick in the first round, being the Super Bowl champion. So this is the lowest I think they've picked in a while. Again, they were mid-pack last year. Then they picked up Antoine Winfield. I think they picked him in the first round. I forget who their first-round pick was a year ago. But, yeah, they've done very, very well. Obviously, you got to bring back Ryan Suckup as well as a kicker. He did very, very well down the stretch for them as well. So there's still some free agents the Bucs would like to bring back. Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Ryan Suckup, I think are just a few that they want to bring back. They've cut some people. They signed some people. So we'll have to wait and see how it all goes down for the Buccaneers and company in the next couple weeks. Just an announcement, guys, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. This is the new 2021 league alignment. They will be in the East Conference, the Atlantic Division. There are 8 teams within the division that are going to be playing with them. The USLFL has announced its league alignment. The league will feature 31 teams across 4 divisions and 2 conferences in the upcoming season, with the club set to embark on a 32-game regular season that will be conducted over 27 weeks. It looks like that the championship regular season will begin on or about May 1st, while employing a flexing start date that allows clubs to begin playing anywhere between April 24th and May 15th. Here is how the defending Eastern Conference title holder, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, will enter a new season in the Atlantic Division, where they are joined by in-state rival Miami FC, 2020 champion playoff clubs, the Charleston Battery, who they had some big matches with last year, Charlotte Independence, Hartford Athletic, and Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC, and London United SC and the New York Red Bulls, too, are within their division. So those are the teams that they will be playing against in their division. That's the Atlantic Division. The other side of the Eastern Conference is the Atlanta United 2, Birmingham Legion FC, FC Tulsa, Indy 11, Louisville City FC, Memphis 901 FC, OKC Energy FC, Sporting KC 2, and that is that. The Western Conference, guys, is the Mountain Division is Austin Bold FC, the Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, El Paso Locomotive FC, New Mexico United, the Rio Monarchs SLC, Rio Grande Valley FC, San Antonio FC. The Pacific Division is LA Galaxy 2, the Las Vegas Lights FC, Oakland Roots SC, Orange County SC, the defending West champion Phoenix Rising FC, Sacramento Republic FC, San Diego Loyal SC, and Tacoma Defiance round out the Western Division in there. So again, guys, the season is set to begin on or around May 1st. So we're just a couple months away from that starting back up again. There have been announcements. It looks like the 2021 ESPN national broadcast schedule and full schedule will be coming up in the next few weeks. So we'll have to wait and see if the Rowdies will be on ESPN. But again, the season is just a couple months away. Yours truly is hoping to get out to a Rowdies game if they allow that this year. They allow fans at Al Lang Stadium. I would like to go. I've never been to a game. I would really, really love to go. If there's anyone out here that listens to my show that is a Rowdies fan or a fanatic, let me know. I would love to go with you or talk to you because I don't have any idea how the rules work in soccer. So I'd like to, but I'm hoping to go this year and see a Rowdies game sometime this year. So looking forward to the Rowdies being there. Let me go ahead, guys. Now I will go ahead and shift to the National Hockey League and the two teams that I cover here on the Sunshine State Sports Jabber. We'll start with the Cats in Sunrise, the Florida Panthers. Let me go ahead, guys, and give you kind of their last two games that they've played. Let me jump ahead here real quick. The last two games that they have played were on March 9th and March 11th. March 9th, they were at the Columbus Blue Jackets. They won 4-2 on that game. So let's see. Let's see here if there are any stats that I can give you guys. But they did win 4-2 there. So we'll have to wait. Have to look and see. Their next game, guys, is tomorrow against the Chicago Blackhawks at the BB&T Center in Sunrise. So they are there right now. Right now, guys, they have 38 points, and they are tied with the Tampa Bay Lightning and are 1 point behind the Carolina Hurricanes in the Central standings. The team that they'll be playing against tomorrow night will be the Chicago Blackhawks, who are at 33 points. The division ours as follows. It's Carolina, Tampa Bay, Florida, Chicago, Columbus, Nashville, Dallas, and Detroit are the teams as follows. So there you go with that. They are they've won their last two games, both games coming against the Columbus Blue Jackets. If I'm not mistaken, that's who they beat the last two games. Yes, they won 4-2 back on the 9th, and then just yesterday they won 5-4 in overtime. Jackets got 1 point there. It looks like, guys, that their next game is coming up against they have two games against the Chicago Blackhawks, which is tomorrow, and then on Monday the 15th. They're both at home at the BB&T Center. After that, they will welcome in the Nashville Predators for two at the BB&T Center. So the Predators will be coming to town as well. So there's the update on that. Sergei Bobrovsky has been the winning goaltender the last two games out against the Blue Jackets. So that definitely is something. And guys, that's something too that a lot of people don't give a lot of credit to. The Panthers are really not that bad of a hockey team. Really, honestly, I can say that. They're not that bad of a team this year, and they continue to, I think, impress a lot of people. Let's go ahead real quick, guys. Let's check the stats on them real quick and give you right now the leading points getter is Jonathan Huberdeau. He has 32 points. He's played 26 games, 10 goals, 22 assists, and he's a +2 overall. So that's pretty good. And you have Alexander Barkov, Patrick Holmquist, Aaron Ekblad, and then Carter Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe is the former Lightning player. So these guys are all within that reach. And then, of course, you have Keith Yandel and company down there on the defensive end. So is Ekblad. He's also a defenseman. So they're not bad. This is not really a bad hockey team right now. Again, they are in third place. They are tied with the Lightning. I think they're in second place, actually, tied with the Lightning. And then, of course, they're behind. Both teams are behind the Carolina Hurricanes at the moment. So the Panthers are in action tomorrow night, guys, at the BB&T Center against the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm not really sure, guys, if they're allowing people in the BB&T Center. I personally have been in their arena on a handful of occasions, and I have to say it's one of the nicest arenas that I've ever got a chance to sit in. It's very nice, very spacious, and I'm sure that when there's a lot of when the Panthers are winning, it's a full house. So that they're winning, guys. It's time to start going to the games. The Panthers are winning. It's time to start getting there and supporting your Panthers as they try to make a run at the playoffs like they were a year ago. Then I'm going to go ahead, guys. Now I'll finish up with the Florida Panthers and jump to the defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning, on the other hand, lost last night 6-4 to the Detroit Red Wings. So that kind of put them back a little bit. It was in regulation. This is the first time in a long time that the Lightning have lost to the Detroit Red Wings in regulation. But there has never, there's nothing really to worry about, guys. Their next game is tomorrow at 7 o'clock against the Nashville Predators at Amalie Arena. So again, guys, their schedule are as follows. I believe they have the Predators, coming up on their schedule that we will have to wait and see. But they have kind of had issues so far with the Carolina Hurricanes this year. They've had some games that they've been able to win, but they've early on they struggled against them. They beat the Red Wings on the 9th, 4-3 in overtime, and then lost last night 6-4. So they now shift the gear. They will be playing the Predators on tomorrow and Monday at Amalie Arena. The Monday game, guys, is a 4 o'clock drop of the puck. Holy cannoli on that one. 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday. That's going to be interesting, guys. That's interesting, to say the least. They're going to drop the puck that early. So that's interesting how they will play that out, when it comes to that point. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, they sit behind just the Carolina Hurricanes by 1 point. Their stats are as follows. Their leading point getter is defenseman Victor Hedman. He has 1 more point than Andre Palat, Braden Point, and Steven Stamkos. He has 5 goals and 20 assists for 25 points. He's a +7. Stamkos is even, 24 points, 12 goals, 12 assists. Andre Palat, 11 goals, 13 assists, 24 points. Braden Point, 9 goals, 15 assists. He's also got 24 points. And oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, I did catch this right before I came on the air. Nikita Kucherov is skating again. I repeat, he is skating again. How long before he comes back, I don't know. But that's only going to make this team better when he returns to the lineup, because this team is doing damn well without him. So I can't wait. As long as we don't get another major injury down the stretch, the Lightning will be right back to where they were last year when they won the Stanley Cup. Before I go, I'm going to go ahead, guys, and jump to see where the Panthers and the Lightning are in the power rankings. So let's see, guys, where CBS Sports has the two teams for the power rankings. The UEFA Champions League. Right now, guys, number 1 is the Lightning. They dropped their shutout loss to the Blackhawks over the weekend and snapped their win streak. They, of course, lost last night to the Red Wings as well. The Florida Panthers are 5th. So they're 5th in the power rankings on their thing, and the Lightning are number 1. So both teams, guys, are in the top 5 They're both in the top 5 in the power rankings in the National Hockey League. So that alone is pretty darn good that they are both in the top 5 in the power rankings. That's pretty damn cool. Again, guys, the Sunshine State Sports Chapter is sponsored by ArenaEats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venues. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, or in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? All right, guys, so now we'll shift to the Diamond. And, of course, we all know as of right now, spring training is still going on. The season is set to start here in the next few weeks for their 162-game season. The Miami Marlins, again, have not been getting a lot of credit, and it says right here in an article written, the Marlins are bad, but they are exciting. The Marlins will not win a ton of games, but they'll play fun baseball. So this is how they have it going down, guys. Again, it won't be a 60-game season this year. It will be 162 games this year. The Marlins were going to slither into the playoffs with a roster that had lost 90 games in a normal year. Even in 60 games, the Marlins were outscored by 41 runs. Got to be they were a poor hitting team, ranking 21st in WOBA at 3.08. I'm sorry, 0.308. Even with Sixto Sanchez dazzling his debut, the pitching staff ranked 26th in FIP at 5.02. The only thing they did as satisfactory was field, and they were still ranked 16th with 0 defensive runs saved. This franchise has 2 World Series banners to fly, but only has 6 winning seasons in 27 full years. The Marlins have never won a division title, but until the Rays finally swept them, they are 7-0 in postseason series despite the Marlins' best efforts. Fortune smiles upon them. So again, this is a team, guys, they don't expect a lot of wins out of. Baseball Prospects gives them 70 wins, and Fangraphs gives them 73 wins. So again, guys, if you're looking at that, you're doing the math at home. 70-win season would put them at 70 and 93. 73-game season would put them at 73 and 90. So that they're predicting this roster to lose 90 or more games next year. I don't know if all the Marlins fans out there agree with that. It could be that way. Maybe they're a couple years away from still building, still building the team back up. Derek Jeter and company are trying to build what they have and, get rid of some of the bigger contracts and try to bring the team back together. But again, we are in spring training, guys. They did win earlier today over the New York Mets on the road. They won 4-2 over the Mets today. So that is something that you can portray that. Right now, let's look back at their schedule. So far, what they've done in their last 2 games coming up. Again, the season will start on April 1st for them. And it will be at home, the 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd against their in-state rivals, the Tampa Bay Rays. So they will start at home. The first 6 games will be at home for the Miami Marlins. They tied back just 2 days ago against the Nationals 1-1. They have a game tomorrow against the St. Louis Cardinals at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium at home down. But it'll be a 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time first pitch so far for the Marlins this year. In their spring training, let's look at some of the stats, guys, for the Miami Marlins so far. Leading the way right now with a .467 batting average is Corey Dickerson. 6 games played. He started all 6 games at 15 at-bats. He's had 4 runs, 7 hits, 2 doubles, 1 stolen base, and he's on base percentage of .467. He's slugging .600. and his OPS is 1.067. The next one down will be DH Garrett Cooper. He's had 6 games played, 5 started, 462, 13 at bats. He's got 3 runs on 6 hits, 2 doubles, 1 homer, 6 RBIs. He's hitting 462, slugging percentage at 846, and his OPS is 1.308. Sterling Marte, also just like Dickerson, 6 games started, 6 games played. He's hitting 400, 15 at bats, 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 1 RBI, 1 stolen base. He's had 3 strikeouts. His slugging percentage is 667, and an on-base OPS of 1.067. So just like Dickerson, he's got the same OPS. But so far, that's the way the Marlins have kind of played. There's the top 3 guys in their hitting order that are going on. Let me give you guys their pitchers real quick. Let's see what they have so far for pitching. Pitching right now, Neil Nehart is the leading. He's had 3 games that he's played in. He's pitched 7 innings, no runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. His whip is 0.86. Cody Petit, 3 games played, 3 innings pitched, 1 save, 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Sandy Alcarana, he started 3 games, started 3. His innings pitched 7.2, 4 hits, 2 runs, 8 walks, 10 strikeouts with a 1.57 ERA, 1.757 WHIP. So these again are early numbers, guys. Again, this is spring training. They're just trying to find the right keys to everything. So we'll have to wait and see how they, how everything goes with the Marlins and stuff like that. But again, you have a lot of people that have this team pegged to lose 90 games, 90 plus games this year during the regular season. So we'll have to wait and see if that's exactly what happens with the Marlins moving forward. That we don't know. We do not know. So we'll have to wait. Maybe they'll surprise everybody and win 90 games. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. I'm going to go ahead now, guys, and jump to the defending American League champion, Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays have been playing pretty well in spring training. Again, they're in the division with the Orioles, Red Sox, Yankees, and Blue Jays. They played earlier today and lost 8-2 to the Boston Red Sox.
Although,
currently, right now, so that's what they have right now. They have some injured players. Brendan McKay, Brent Honeywell, Yanni Chirinos, Jalen Beats, and Colin Pooch are all on the right now. Like I said, they did lose 8-2 today to the Boston Red Sox. Let me go ahead and bring up their spring training that they've done so far and kind of give you guys the last 2 games that they played outside of today's game. They have lost the last 2. They lost 2-0 to the Atlanta Braves just 2 days ago. They have a game tomorrow at home at Charlotte Sports Park against the Minnesota Twins. It's a 1:05 p.m. first pitch, Eastern Standard Time. It'll be Rich Hill on the mound pitching for the Rays. Of course, he is the longtime veteran that the Rays have. They brought in to kind of fill in the void of Charlie Morton and one Blake Snell that left just left. Right now, guys, the leading hitter, there's 3 guys hitting at 500. That would be Tristan Gray, Kevin Smith, and Kevin Kiermaier. Gray has played 6 games, started 2. He's got 6 at-bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 triple, 1 homer, 4 RBIs, 1 walk. His slugging percentage is 1.333. His OPS is 1.958. Keegan Smith, the catcher, has had 3 games played, 1 game started. He is 6 at-bats, 1 run, 3 hits, 1 walk, 3 RBIs, 0.571. His slugging percentage is 667. His OPS is 1.238. Kevin Kiermaier, 2 games started, 2 games played, 4 at-bats. He is 0 runs, 2 hits, 1 RBI. And he has, again, his slugging percentage is .500, and his OPS is 1,000 even, 1.00. So let's see, guys. Let's see how checking real quick. Let's see how Randy Arozarena is doing. He is currently hitting at 154, 5 games played, 4 started, 13 at-bats. He's got 1 run, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 walk. And again, his slugging percentage is also .154, so his OPS is 0.308. So that is how it is for Randy Arozarena. Again, the Rays are going to have to do something. They're going to have to come up with a way to score runs. That's going to be the big thing right now. The leading guy is one Chris Ellis. 3 games played, 1 start, 4 innings pitched. He's had 1 hit, no walks, no runs. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's got a whip of 1.00. Nick Anderson, who was big last year, 1 game pitched, 1 inning. He's had no runs, no walks, no strikeouts, so he's out of that. Shane Baz, 1 game played, 1 inning pitched. He has 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and his ERA is 2. So, again, we'll have to wait and see how they fill in the void moving forward. They're big on Shane McClanahan. I know I've heard his name come up a lot. So we'll have to wait and see how the Rays continue to fill in that void and fill in that gap moving forward with everything going on. So Kevin Cash seems to have the right combination of guys here. Let's see how they, again, Manuel Margot, obviously, Austin Meadows. There's going to be a bunch of guys that are going to have to step up offensively and not strike out. They're going to have to try to score runs and stuff like that. We'll have to wait and see how the Rays do all of that coming up as the season. They begin on the road against the Miami Marlins. So we'll have to wait and see how those 3 games go. Let's go ahead, guys, real quick, as we'll jump to the National Basketball Association. And the Toronto Raptors are going to be here. They're not going anywhere. And they're going to have something kind of cool, guys. As of 12 days from today, on March 24th, they will have an all-women's broadcasting team that will be announcing their game. So let's see who that will be. It is going to be, let's see, the Raptors are going 1 step further. In conjunction with TSN, Megan Peake, Kaya Nurse, Kayla Gray, Kate Burness, and Amy Everett will be the game's broadcasting team. Gray and Burness are TSN on-air reports. Nurse stars in the WNBA for the Phoenix Mercury and a regular contributor at TSN. But Peake became the first woman to operate as a play-by-play announcer in the G League in 2015, while Albert is a color commentator and analyst for the Raptors 905. So, again, that is going to be something pretty awesome that the Raptors will have the first all-female announcing team coming up in just 12 days from now. I thought that was a pretty cool article to read and let you guys know about that. I think there's a lot of people out there that are going to say, I don't, what does that matter? Who cares type of situation. But there are people out there that do care about stuff like that. And I like to make sure that I cover, that for them. The Raptors, guys, have a game tomorrow against the 500 Charlotte Hornets is the team they will be playing right now, guys. In the East, they stand at 17-20. They're 5-5 in their last, and they're on a 3-game losing streak. In the East Atlantic standings, again, they're down. But I will say this, they could turn it around. They are going to be still playing at Spectrum at Amalie Arena. They're not going back to Canada. Let me go ahead, guys, and kind of give you some stats from the last couple games for the Toronto Raptors. Again, they're on a 3-game losing streak. So the last game they lost to Boston back on March 4th, 132 to 125. And they lost to the Hawks 121 to 120 just a couple days ago. And again, they play Charlotte tomorrow on the road in Charlotte. Then they go to Chicago and then at Detroit before they return back to Amalie Arena to play the Jazz, who are the leading team, I believe, in the Western Conference. So they have been struggling a little bit. Let's check on the stats, guys, real quick and see what's going on with I know, so right now Pascal's Siakam, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I apologize, guys. Right now he is averaging 35.8 minutes. He is scoring 20.1 points, 45.3% field goal percentage. He, again, he's got an 81% field goal free throw percentage is him. So Freddie Van Fleet, Kyle Lowry, these are the guys that are, they've had some issues, some COVID out. Right now they are in 9th place, which means they would miss the playoffs. Only the top 8 teams get in. So they would definitely miss the playoffs as of right now. Again, there's still some time left in the season for the Raptors to try to get back into the Eastern Conference playoffs. So again, guys, it will have to be something like that we will have to wait and see. Like I said, they are kindly sitting right now in 9th. In the Eastern Conference. Let me go ahead, guys, now and jump to the next team that I cover in the NBA, and that is the Miami Heat. The Heat. Let me switch to the Miami Heat stats right here. What happens, guys, is I had my notes set for Monday, and I have a lot of old stuff, so I was trying to make sure that I keep everything kind of updated for you guys. I definitely don't want to give out old information and stuff like that. I believe the Heat have a game tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they are up 14-13 in the first quarter over the Chicago Bulls. And speaking of the Chicago Bulls, there has been some rumors that would be a good place to make some trades with Chicago. Now, will that happen? We'll have to wait and see. But if the Miami Heat may not need to make a major deal, but if they do trade all, Chicago should get a phone call. So we'll have to wait and see if that's the way that they go with that. Like I said, guys, Miami is on a 2-game winning streak. They are 19-18, 8-2 in their last 10 games. They are in the Southeast standings, and I believe that they are ahead in that front. Yes, they are. I think they're in the lead in that front. But let's see, guys, where they rank. Let's see here. We'll go to schedule real quick. They are 5th in the Eastern Conference, which means they will be back in the playoff picture. This is a team that lost in 6 games last year to the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals. So, again, they will have to somehow find their way back. The biggest thing kind of early on in the season for them was turnovers. They've won their last 2, beating the Pelicans 103-93 back on March 4th, and they beat the in-state rival Orlando Magic 111-103 just yesterday. I apologize. Yesterday they beat Orlando, and now they're on the road, and they are up by 6 points in the first quarter over the Chicago Bulls. So that will be something that we'll have to wait and see how that goes down. I would have to say I'm pretty excited about that. I would be pretty excited about the Heat, returning back to, the finals where they were last year. They definitely have the team if they can keep the turnovers down. We'll have to see where exactly they go when the trade deadline goes down and stuff like that. But as of right now, the Heat are really off to a good start so far after having a kind of rough start to their season. So they're right there in the middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference Finals. And lastly, guys, as I do in my NBA news with the Orlando Magic, and this team basically has kind of written themselves out of playoff contention and everything else. So let's take a look at their draft board coming up, who they may go and get. The top guy would be, of course, a Cade Cunningham, a guard. There, he would definitely be one of those. He's a 6'8" guard, 6'8" point guard. He's averaging 19.7 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, and 3.5 assists for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. He has a 52.7% effective field goal percentage and a 29% usage rate. So he would be a good fit for the Magic on a young team. Jalen Green would be another guy. He's a G League guy. So he would be definitely somebody that they could bring in as well. Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga is also a G Leaguer. He could also be brought in as well. Evan Mobley is a center from USC, 7-foot center. He does not have a three-point range yet, but is efficient scoring around the basket, even without a great back-to-the-basket game. So, again, he's averaging 16.2 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks per game. Jalen Suggs, a point guard. He's averaging 13.9 points per game, 4.5 assists, and he's a 55% field goal percentage. That's pretty darn good as well. He is an other veteran and former Florida point guard. Other prospects to watch would be Moses Moody, Scotty Barnes, Keon Johnson, Zaire Williams, James Boganite, Corey Kispert, are just Jalen Johnson, Ayo Demasawa, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So that basically kind of rounds out the Orlando Magic as far as, kind of what they're doing. Let me go ahead and find out where the Magic are. They're 14th overall in the Eastern Conference, 13-24. They are currently playing the San Antonio Spurs, and they are winning 22-13 in the first quarter of that game. They guys are on a 6-game losing streak, and they are 3-7 in their last 10 games. So not very good. But again, this team, guys, they've had their issues with injuries and stuff like that. So I don't think anyone really thought a lot of them coming into the season anyway. The last two games back on March 3rd, they lost the Hawks 115-112. And I just mentioned that the Heat beat them 111-103 just yesterday. So they are on the road again playing against the Spurs. They're up 22-13 in the first quarter at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. So not much out of them. I hate starting to talk about the NBA draft for teams, but this is a team that may have to that may end up having to do that. But yeah, I mean, to me, that it would be interesting to see how that all goes down. But we'll have to see how that all plays out for them this season, because that's how basically we'll end up going. But that's it right now, guys, for the NBA talk. Let me jump now, guys, to the college game. And I always start with the boys that call Coral Gables home, and that is the Miami Hurricanes. Coming into camp, as a lot of spring football has started for a lot of teams, Manny Diaz is walking around a loaded camp. He likes what he has seen. So, again, here's a team, guys, that will begin the season against Alabama. A lot of people are speculating that they should not be starting the season against the Tide, who are the defending national champions. It will be a good test for the Hurricanes right off the bat. I mean, obviously, that would be outstanding, for this team if they can go right off the bat and they can go ahead and get off to a good start. And boy, would it be something if they can somehow pull off an upset. That would be something on its own. If they could somehow pull off an upset, that would be something along those lines, of what what they can accomplish down the stretch. Let me go ahead, guys, and jump to their college basketball team to see. They finished the regular season 10-17, 13th overall in the ACC. They did play just yesterday in a 70-66 loss to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. So I think they're out of the AAC. I think right now the Noles and the North Carolina Tar Heels are playing for it all. I believe, I don't know if Miami will have enough to make the tournament, to make March Madness. I don't really know where their standings are at. But they did beat Pittsburgh and Clemson before losing to Georgia Tech there at the end by 4 points. So they're I believe the Hurricanes, as far as I know up to this point, is over. I don't know if they're going to make the tournament or not. So we'll have to go back and wait and see. But they did have 2 postseason wins before they got knocked out. Let's take a look at the ladies. The ladies basketball. Let's see here. Let's see. Do they not have? Okay, hang on a second, guys. Let me try this right here. Women's basketball. Let's take a look at the women's basketball. Women's basketball for the Miami Hurricanes. They lost to Virginia Tech 72-64. That was their last game played last Thursday. I believe that was it for them as well. Let's see if they where did they finish? Let's see, guys, where they finished overall in the ACC. They were 8-10 in the conference. Overall, they were 511-11, 8-4 at home, 3-6 on the road. I don't know if they're going to be playing either. I don't know if Miami's men's and women's teams are going to be playing in the March Madness. I don't know yet. The brackets haven't came out. If one of them does make it to the next level for either ladies basketball or men's basketball, I definitely will let you guys know what the score is and who they're going to be playing and where they're going to be playing on Monday's show. I definitely will take a look, because by then I think the selection show is Sunday, so I'll kind of know where everybody is at that point, where everyone is at. Let me go ahead, guys, and I'm going to jump back to basketball, as that is my coverage for the Hurricanes. I'm going to now jump to the team that calls Tallahassee home, and that is the Florida State Seminoles. Let me go ahead, guys, and go through their first of all, their fall camp has begun. This is the second year of coach for Mike Norvell. They are currently playing in the ACC championship game, and they're up 35-24 at the half. So they're beating the North Carolina Tar Heels at the present moment. They are going for it all. But again, the Seminoles did struggle last year. They were a young team. Now this year they're going to have to make some changes. Of course, Norvell definitely can do that. He can turn the program around. The Noles fans are going to have to be a little bit patient. I know that's a lot to ask for, especially how bad it's been in Tallahassee the last few years. But currently, guys, they're up 35-24 at the half. Let me check out the women's side. The women's basketball team. Hang on just a second. Let me fire over here to Florida State. See where they're at. They lost to Syracuse last Friday, 68-67. So where did they end their season at? The Noles were 9-7 in the conference, 10-8 overall, 8-1 at home, 2-6 on the road. They might they might make the tournament at 10-8. We'll have to wait and see how that all goes down. For them, that's definitely something we'll have to look out for. And again, like I said, just with Miami, I'll let you guys know if anything comes up with them. But should be an exciting season for Noles football. Hopefully, it'll be a lot better than it was a year ago for them and stuff like that. Next team, guys, I will jump to will be the guys that call Gainesville home, and that's the Florida Gators, who are coming off of a kind of a bad time there. Now they will definitely show off their power through their interior offensive line. With 1,052 total pounds of mass, the Gators trio in the middle of its offensive line will be a sight to see this season. Offensive line coach John Hasley feels good about his group, with spring training starting just a couple weeks ago. So he's already feeling pretty good about it. The Gators are trying to, again, they had a tough end to the season. Obviously, they lost a lot of key players. And Kyle Pitts, Kyle Trask, they lost a lot of players to the Kadarius Toney's another one that was on that list. So they definitely lost a lot of people last year. So it'll be a different Florida Gator team this year. Let me go ahead and open up where the Gators at. I think they may have lost yesterday or last night. Let me see something here. Let's see here, guys. Like I said, I had my notes set for Monday, and I don't want to kind of leave anything behind. Let's see the SEC. Here we go. The Gators, let's see here. The Gators were 14-9 overall. They were 5th in the SEC. They lost today, 78-66 to the Tennessee Volunteers. So I don't know I'm sure that they probably will make it. I don't know if the SEC title game is tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see on that. I know the Gators missed a lot of games early in the season due to COVID, but they were 10th overall, 14-9 overall there. The women's team for the Florida Gators. Let's see here, guys. There we go. Click there. Let's see. The Gators ladies team, they lost 73-64 last Thursday to the Kentucky Wildcats. Standing wise, the Gators were 3-11, 11-13 overall. I don't see the Lady Gators getting to the championship. I think their season is over. The men's team may get to March Madness. I don't know at this present moment, but the Lady Gators will not be making the trip there. So we'll have to wait and see, guys, on them. Moving forward, guys, the next team obviously would be the boys and girls that call Orlando home, and that is the UCF Golden Knights. So let me go ahead and, as I do for every team, bring them up. Gus Malzahn is trying to send a frightening message from his new home in Orlando, kind of putting everyone in the state of Florida, everyone around the country on notice that UCF is still going to be as damn good as they were. They've been good. We'll have to wait and see how that goes in Malzahn's first year in Orlando. But he is trying to get them to say, hey, just because I'm not at Auburn anymore doesn't mean I can't, still coach a team. And he's going to try to coach coach UCF back to where they were. I mean, it's going to be interesting to say the least, but that is what it is. That is what it is. We'll have to wait and see definitely how that all breaks down. For Malzahn and company, I can tell you this right now, it's not going to be that same power-packed offense that you saw. That's not the same kind of system that Malzahn runs, but on the quick end, that might be a good thing, that people are not ready for a new kind of offense that the UCF Knights can bring. Their men's team was 11-11 overall. They were 8-10 inside the AAC. They currently, guys, have a game tonight, a matter of 20 minutes from now, against the Memphis Tigers. It will be on ESPN2. So they are still in the AAC tournament. So they're still there. They're still playing basketball. So they're still there. I will have to wait and see, guys, where they fall. If they win and stuff like that, we'll have to wait and see exactly how that goes. But when it comes down to it, I definitely will keep you in the loop. Like I said, guys, if something happens, if they do end up getting there, UCF's women's team lost in the AAC final to the #1 South Florida Bulls, 64-54 last night. So most likely they're going to make the tournament, guys. They were 16-4 overall during the season. I could see the Lady Knights definitely being in March Madness. And I won't even talk about South Florida's basketball team. I might as well go ahead and do that right now since they played them last night. And South Florida definitely is the next team I'm going to talk about. But instead of talking about football first, I just talked to them. They finished 18-3. They won they won the conference. They won the first time that they've ever won the AAC overall. And now they win the ACC tournament. So now they're going to be a force to reckon with. They had 2 games early on that they struggled, but they won last night by 10 points to claim the AAC tournament championship. So Coach Fernandez, who won Coach of the Year this year and was now moving the Lady Bulls into March Madness. Congratulations to USF on a great season for ladies basketball. Congratulations to the Lady Bulls on that. That definitely ends up being that way. Guys, there's kind of a, hopefully we don't have the same kind of conundrum that we had a year ago with USF and their quarterbacks. Right now, I wrote an article just today that will probably be up either tomorrow or Sunday for NGSC, the network that handles my podcast here, that talks about that conundrum known at the quarterback position. Jeff Scott needs to get a starter. They cannot keep rotating quarterbacks all season. That's definitely going to have to be something that he's going to have to try to get straightened out. So, again, we'll have to wait and see how that all boils down. And I'll go ahead, guys, and end my show with the South Florida Bulls men's basketball team, who finished 9-13 overall, 4-10 inside the AAC. They finished 8th in the conference. They lost today by 1 point to the #1 Wichita State Shockers. Kind of a disappointing way to end the season. I don't believe that the Bulls will make the March Madness tournament, being that they lost 13 games. It's been a hell of a season for Coach Gregory and company. I talked a lot about this on Bullseye with Larry Frank. Guys, if you don't know what show that is, that's every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about South Florida Bulls athletics, because it's every sport, not just football and basketball. But with that, guys, I'm going to call this special Friday evening I'm going to call it a show. I forgot to change the screen here real quick. We'll go ahead and put the USF logo up there real quick. But before I go, guys, as I always do, I want to thank, again, the Sunshine State Sports Jabber is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience of your favorite sports venues. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and eat-seat delivery. How do you place your order? I want to again thank everyone on a special Friday night. I don't know how many people were actually in here tonight. Probably not very many. Probably people have a lot more better things to do on their Friday night than hear me talk. The show will be back on its regular scheduled time this upcoming Monday at 8:30 p.m. Part of NGSC Sports. Guys, remember the website. It's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. But, guys, until then, I want to thank the first responders, doctors and nurses, the true heroes of the pandemic since it started a year ago. I cannot believe, guys, We've already been through 1 year of coronavirus. The numbers are coming down. Let's hope that spring break doesn't make them go back up. That's coming up next week. Also, guys, to the men and women of our armed services, both active, retired, and the ones who have left us, thank you for doing what you do. I would not be able to talk as much as I have this week, guys. This is my 4th podcast of the week. I repeat, the 4th podcast of the week. I had my Tuesday show, my Thursday show last night, this show, and this morning I did the uncensored, unfiltered podcast with my man Adam Mangold earlier this morning. So I'm telling you guys, it's my 4th podcast of the week. So I want to thank everyone that gives me the opportunity to do that. Also, guys, thanks to our domestic soldiers, our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics. Thank you for doing what you do, keeping us safe here. I want to thank everyone that came in and watched the podcast this week. I will see you guys back on a regularly schedule on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday of next week. But until then, guys, everyone, please stay safe out there. Have a great weekend, and be well, be safe. This is the Sportster Brad Walker signing off. Peace.